What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing here, back with another video. And in today's video, guys, I wanted to do a video discussing what holy relics do you guys want to be making using your free holy relic material boxes. So for you guys that don't know, we are getting a full holy relic for both the bird, deer, and skull and hottie in the part 1 of the global anniversary celebration. They did mention on the live stream as well that we will be getting one for Nidhogg and Ratatoskr. So when that does drop in part 2, I will do a video on what holy relics to prioritize from that. But what I want to do in today's video, guys, is go over the bird, deer, and skull and hottie relics, and specifically kind of talk about a few of the really good ones that I would recommend you guys prioritize with those free holy relic boxes that you're getting in the wish box event. So we're gonna go through and we'll start with bird, and we'll just kind of scroll through here, and I'll talk about the ones that I think are gonna be your main priority in terms of making from this relic slot. So the first one that I would say you definitely want to be making from the bird, just kind of scrolling through here, guys, definitely Megelda. Like, if you're looking for a character that can really benefit your account, especially even if you're trying to do like floor 4 bird, you definitely need Megelda, right? You're gonna need her holy relic so that you do gain the all stats whenever you use the healing seal in the first place. So she is gonna be my number one. If you do not have her relic already, you definitely want to be getting that relic. Yeah, we'll say Eller Asnor. I think Eller Asnor is pretty good. You get an increase of attack value of the 50% of the hero's defense at the start of the battle. That's obviously going to be very, very good. And again, it's a stat stick for Eller Asnor. You get even more stats on him. And yeah, I mean, still a very strong character for PvE content, single target stuff. Double single target there is always going to be very good. And yeah, I mean, his holy relic is nice to have, 100%. I do think that this regular Arthur holy relic is really good too. Being able to apply an effect which decreases all enemies defense related stats, and then it always reapplies every single turn. This is really, really nice on this Arthur right here, where you run him for like damage dealt, damage reduction in PvE content. That's going to be a really, really strong option. So yeah, I think Arthur's going to be really good. I really like Eller Asnor. Let's see here, Nunchuck Bond. Nunchuck Bond, especially if you're running LR Bond, right? You definitely want to be getting this holy relic, because if a critical strike occurs from the hero, you actually gain 10% attack and up to 5 times. So that's 50% attack. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at, guys. That's a really, really good amount. So, being able to kind of buff some of these LR characters that you have. So looking at like Eller Asnor, you look at, LR Bond, even like Eller Lilia. I actually do see the value in this. If you do want to get this holy relic for Eller Lilia, not a bad idea either. Any of these characters that have LR, guys, I think you could go for their relics. Another like honorable mention, I would say, could be like this Valenti, because when you are running Valenti in Ratatoskr, you actually can get the benefit from this and have her attack be increased too. So her ultimate's doing, what is it? You get like 40% attack from that, right? Because whenever you crit the enemy, or when an enemy attacks an ally, and obviously crits us, then the hero gains attack. So pretty much whenever the rat is attacking you, you get the crit chance, or you get the attack increase from getting crit on, right? So that's obviously really good, and that's going to happen a ton in that fight. So being able to get up to 40% attack on the Ratatoskr Valenti could be valuable for you, right? So just kind of things like that, guys, where you have to kind of think like, what scenarios are you going to be using these holy relics in? And in my opinion right now, nowadays, especially looking at the bird, you're really going for just mainly Megeldas, and then from there it's really just going for like stat sticks on your LRs. Or if you want to go for like, regular Arthur, Valenti, characters that can benefit you with the, the effect on the passive. I definitely do see the value in that as well. Even a character like Festival Gother, him giving you a gray buff, attack related stats by 20%, or 25% right there, is really good too. So yeah, overall, I mean, you got a bunch of options, guys, but my main recommendation, again, is going to be Megelda just from off the rip, because you are going to be getting a bunch of benefits in bird, so you can clear bird more and actually get holy relics from that just by using her to actually get the clears, right? So that's going to be my main recommendation. And from there, it just really, how else you want to build your account. Do you want to build some stat sticks for your LRs? Do you want to maybe go for like, I think Jenna's is pretty good too, attack related stats. There's a bunch of other, like, I could say like honorable mentions here. A lot of these relics are not even that bad. You really just kind of have to think about what use are you going to get out of the specific character you're getting it for, and that will really warrant whether or not you make it or not. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful right there, guys. So, to take that into account. Now let's move over to the deer, and we'll talk about deer holy relics and which ones you should be making. Alrighty guys, now talking about the deer relics, I don't think there's too many deer relics I would say are like must, actual makes. The one that I would say is definitely a must make is going to be Jormungand's though, because if you're running her for any type of deer related content, you're definitely going to want to have that holy relic. Now, it does not affect the red one for rat, so if you were thinking about getting your Jormungand's relic for the red one, it's not necessarily worth it for that reason. But like if you are using Jormungand for the deer, and you're using the green one specifically, then yeah, I mean, this relic's going to be number one. It's going to give you, debuff clans. You get increased skill ranks for your team. And yeah, it's whenever a character uses a skill and it's 3 of your allies uses 1 or more skills, right? So when you're able to do that, you actually are able to get the full benefit of this holy relic and also in turn for her passive. So yeah, just a very strong relic. It's kind of the same thing with Miguelda, where if you're doing the deer, you definitely want to have the main unit with their holy relic as well. Now moving on from that, I think LR Liz is a must pick up. Increase allies HP or Liz stats by 15%. Backland supportive effect applies in all content in the game. LR Liz obviously gets it as a stat stick as well. Just really good across the board in my opinion, guys. So that would be my probably number one if we're not talking Jormungand, right? Like, because that's a really good relic. And then from there, from there I would say you can go like LR King if you do want. If you do want to get LR Kings, it's not a bad idea. He gets 80% damage though when attacking debuffed enemies, which is pretty good because obviously LR King's able to apply that guaranteed debuff. If we're looking at some other characters here, I think Kings is really good too, especially if you're using the green Jelly King, right? If you're using him for rat, that could be a really good holy relic to pick up too. I think the Archangel relics are very good. I would say if I had to kind of rank the Archangel relics though, I would say probably Sariel number 1, or maybe even Tarmiel for just like the stats for the link. And then yeah, okay, I guess I would go Tarmiel. Yeah, Tarmiel number 1, Sariel number 2, and then you can go like Margaret, and then probably green Sariel, then blue Tarmiel. From that point, it really doesn't matter. But I would say definitely prioritizing red Tarmiels for of the Grace characters, that you definitely want to go for his. So yeah, I mean, other than that though, guys, I don't see too much value out of the rest of the relics here. Danafor Liz's could be good if you're doing, some kind of 3-turn PvE content. Not a bad one, and it's also a backline support too, so you definitely could take advantage of this as well. But honestly, other than that, I don't really see too much reason for you to really be picking any of these other holy relics here. So, pretty much Jormungand, and then from there, guys, I would go LR Liz if you don't have hers already. And then from there, it's really just any of the Archangel relics at that point, in my opinion, guys. So yeah, and then Ludos, by the way, is really just not worth picking up. I completely forgot to mention Ludos, but really all it is just a stat stick. If you want more box EC, go for it, I guess. Right, but it's nothing crazy. Alrighty guys, now moving on to Skull and Haughty here. We actually have a new addition holy relic to Skull and Haughty, being Jericho. But is Jericho's actually worth getting? Probably not, in my opinion. Right now at least, Jericho doesn't have a lore or anything like that, so this holy relic really is kind of hindered by the fact that she doesn't have a good unit at the moment. It's a good relic though, it definitely is good. Increase hero's crit chance by 50% for 2 turns, and then increase allies attack by 30% when the hero attacks an enemy and a critical strike occurs. It's actually not bad. Like, honestly, if you're using maybe like green Jericho on the team, or even like the blue one to give your team crit chance too, not bad. It's actually not that bad. So you could actually get some benefit out of this. But honestly, if we're talking about the best Skull and Haughty relics here, guys, obviously number 1 is going to be Thonar, but the real number 1 is Nanashi. I mean, this is one of the best holy relics in the entire game across all content in the game. It's so good because you're just getting free 30% unknown basic stats, and then you're getting defense related stats for two or less characters on your team, right? For if they have 2 skills or less, I mean, right? And that is obviously like a very, very strong effect. Backline support, just like his passive, you gain both the passive and the relic. What's not to like about that relic, man? That's super strong. Another one that could be pretty solid as well, if we're kind of looking at it here, yeah, I mean, Chad King. Chad King's relic's really good too. Farming content, he gets more damage dealt, more basic stats for the team as well. That means in turn more damage as well. Yeah, I mean, overall really, really good stuff. And then for other relics here, Gloxinias for stat stick is not bad, because you're not really using this in rat, right? If you're using, Glox over like, maybe you don't have Jormungand, you're using Glox. This is still, I wouldn't say not better, because it's really just a stat stick. But if you're running him in PvP for maybe like, I don't know, like chaos battle, I guess, like sure. But like other than that, it's really just a stat stick. So honestly, guys, there's not too many picks from Skull and Haughty, but it really is just, Thonar, then get your Nanashi, get your King, get your, stat stick for Glox. Yeah, and then maybe even Scotty's is pretty good too. You get some all stats just by doing an attack with no debuffs, right? So like there are some other like relics here that I think are solid, and even like Chandler's as well if you're using especially like the red one on field. So yeah, I mean, it's really just kind of up to you guys in terms of what you want to go for. But again, my main recommendations though would be going for like Thonar, then Nanashi, and then kind of just whoever you want to go for at that point, right? But yeah, I think Jericho's actually is very good though. So if you do want to get Jericho's now in prep for when the, you know, soon to be maybe LR Jericho does release, you know, then that could definitely be a pretty good one overall. Because right now I just really don't see much like value out of it. You could really just kind of use it as like a support relic instead of like her personal damage. But yeah, I mean, we'll have to obviously see if one of these Jerichos get a LR right there. So yeah, guys. So yeah, I mean, that would be kind of my main recommendations right there, guys, for the Holy Relic boxes and which, you know, kind of characters you should be prioritizing. So I hope this video is helpful and I hope you guys learned something as well. But that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. And we're going to see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out. Have a good rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.